This is Squirrel. He came to me wild at 21 years old, and he was one of the hardest donkeys I've ever worked with. When he got here, he had zero curiosity. It took 6 weeks before he would eat from my hand. We had 9 donkeys graduate before him. He took 4 months to finish gentling. Before I ever touched Squirrel's feet, this had to happen. Trust came in inches, not leaps. Nothing about him was fast. When he first started to eat from my hand, it was kind of like a crocodile's mouth coming at my hand to get food. When we first started working with his feet, he thought the correct answer would be to kick as hard as he could. Squirrel was always pretty comfortable with his front feet, but when it came to his back feet, he would kick out with such force. I would become kind of consumed with how to get through to Squirrel. The best way to help him feel comfortable would keep me awake at night. It took a long time to help him be comfortable with his hind feet. And that's the part of his gentling process that took the most time after we got past that first 6 weeks. His hind kick would be with such force, I had an even healthier respect for what he could do to me if I went too fast. Hey guys, what you're seeing here is creating curiosity. Now he's choosing to come by us, to come by me. Now, you guys might have noticed he didn't follow me right away, and that's because he needed time to process. That's where he started to lick and chew, and he blew. And then he put his head down some, got a lick of salt, and came over back to me, and now he's following me even quicker. He's starting to seek me out for attention, and that's what we want. We want him to go at his pace, and you can see how quickly he's getting more confident and comfortable around people. For Squirrel, this was not about manners. For him, this was all about survival. Squirrel truly feared what would happen if he gave up any control. Most of what you're watching here doesn't look like training. It just looks like me standing with them, moving slowly and waiting. But this part matters more than anything that came later. Remember I said, Squirrel came to me 21 years old. He wasn't dramatic. He wasn't explosive. He wasn't afraid to defend himself if he thought it was necessary. And he was completely shut down. Creating that curiosity enough for him to eat from my hand, taking a full 6 weeks. And even then, he was so cautious. I think it took him about 30 minutes to take one bite from my hand as he would approach and retreat because he would get too afraid. He would take 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Eventually, we made progress. All of this was not because he was stubborn, but because trust was an expensive, big, giant ask for him. With trust being such a giant ask of him, before I could ever think about those feet, he had to be able to handle me, my presence, my movement, my intention. If a donkey can't tolerate simple interaction, touch, proximity, quiet requests, they'll never tolerate foot handling. Not safely, not honestly. This is where I think a lot of people get stuck. Squirrel taught me that the donkeys that take the longest often teach us the most. It's easy to want cooperation before we've built a connection, and to want connection before the donkey is curious. With Squirrel, everything came back to what I call the 3 C's. Curiosity, connection, cooperation. Curiosity comes first, not obedience, not compliance. I wasn't asking Squirrel to do anything here. I was just watching to see if he could stay present, if he could wonder instead of withdraw. A curious donkey leans in. just a little. A shut down donkey leaves even if their feet don't move. Connection is what happens when a donkey realizes you are predictable and you are listening. This is why the pace matters, why rushing costs you more than it saves. Squirrel needed to know that I would stop when he needed me to stop and stay when he needed me to stay. Cooperation? Only after curiosity and connection do you get cooperation. And even then, it's borrowed, not owned. When Squirrel finally started picking up his feet, it wasn't because I trained the feet. It was because he trusted the conversation. This is why the hoof trim you're about to see looks the way it does. Slow, quiet, uneventful. Because all of this had to happen first. If you are working with a donkey that feels impossible to reach, one that shuts down, freezes, or scares you, Squirrel is for you. Hard donkeys aren't broken, guys. They're careful.